Hello there, I'm Dredge, and welcome back to the Deep. Today we will be playing some more Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. I do actually have the Fatesworn DLC, and it does contain all of the current and up-to-date content for the game. I was earlier mistaken. Today we will be continuing with our Weapon Master playthrough. The rules of engagement are: Number 1, we are a Weapon Master. Our build will shift to take advantage of our best weapon. Number 2, no save-scumming or other cheating. This goes double for crafting exploits. Number 3, no crafting weapons until we've finished the blacksmithing tree. We will only be crafting armor and shields. Number 4, go quickly, no dilly-dallying or extraneous level grinding. Number 5, no skipping cutscenes. Number 6, listen to the dialogue. Number 7, don't open the chest in Gorhart until we are hard stuck in progression, or around level 10. The weapons inside and the armor inside scales up, so we will be taking our time to let them cook. If you're enjoying this content so far, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for updates when we play again. Let's get going. We are currently in the town of Gorhart. We're going to sell off some junk items, collect items within the town, and then go and see if we can help out the wounded Summer Fae. We need to find her a better healing potion. There are a few ways to complete this quest. The first way is inside of the healer's hut. Down in the basement, you can loot, i.e. steal, one of her better healing potions. Method number 2, you can purchase from her, if you have enough money, one of the healing potions. Number 3, if you know the correct ingredients to use, you can create one of the healing potions. However, that option requires additional skill in alchemy, otherwise you cannot craft it yourself. We will be avoiding the chest until we're at a higher level. But for now, we can search the hidden cellar. A fine iron hammer. This is one of my favorite weapons in the game. Once you have the attack from melee or attack from block, it deals incredibly fine damage. That being said, attack from block is even better with the staff. We're going to take this item and keep it as a backup. A birch staff. This one isn't as good as our current one. Scarwood bark. Always good to have. Let's continue to collect items from around the area. Behind the town, there is a little chest here. Unlocking chests is not a crime. There's a few different positions for the pick. Basically one between each of these facets. Facet 1, Facet 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They do have offsets that are adjusted by your player's skill with the pick. Go slowly. If you see the lockpick move, try to get it out of the way and stop moving the lockpick. Decent robes. 3% crit chance is nice. That means that inside there you have the chance of looting a 3% crit chance component, but it's not one we need right now. The Longsword of Dusk deals quite a bit of bonus damage. It has a 5% bonus damage at night, which is a useful piece if we were a blacksmithing build. Cloudy physical shards are good to sell, and Scarwood bark is always very nice to have. I'll speak with
I'm not
Gazella.
accustomed to all of this excitement. It was difficult enough to adjust to life during wartime. Now we have to be on our guard for Tuatha right here in our own home. What is this world coming to?
Tell us about the Crystal War.
Truth be told, I know nothing of why the Tuatha are at war with the Alfar, nor why men fight the way they do. All I know is who picks up the pieces. The Tuatha's madness infected the Winter Court. All Fae existed peacefully for centuries, until the Tuatha got involved. It's sad.
Tell us about the Alfar.
My experience is limited to Arnik Arduna and Katrin Alway. They seem the same as any of the rest of us. Wiser, perhaps, but decent, hard-working folk. I'm hardly a scholar, but I can tell you what I know. There are two Fae factions, the gentle Court of Summer and its coarser cousin, the Court of Winter. As a child, we were told stories of their ancient rivalry. These are surely myths, but enough to scare a young girl. In the last few years, the Court of Winter has fallen, corrupted by a group of powerful Fae called the Tuatha. It's the Tuatha we fight, and the Tuatha we will defeat.
That's some good conviction. This being said, there are more than two factions of Fae. There exist sub-factions within each one. Very important to learn about.
I would think they were a myth if not for the Tuatha. The Fae keep far from us. Perhaps they view us as intruders in their lands. Perhaps they disapprove of our civilized ways. Perhaps they know something we don't. I fear that most of all.
Tell us about yourself.
I was a miller's love who became a miller's wife. Now I am the wife of a soldier. My duty is to hold vigil for my beloved and for all our men on the lines. I was born and raised right here in the village. Well, not in Gorhart proper, but on a farmstead outside the village boundaries. It was a good life. Before the war, of course. It's strange. Those old birds have been perched on that hill for as long as I can remember, staring down over the rest of us in the village like hawks. I know so little about them. I don't even know their names. It's my understanding that they were once members of the Court of Winter, and Fae like any other. But something dark lured them, took them, and twisted them in its grip. Goodbye.
Well, thank you for the heads up. Graveside letter. Avery, I came to Gorhart to look after your kin. Rika is as wonderful as you described, yet she is a shadow. She misses you, my friend, as do we all. I will watch over her since you cannot, and I will visit you often, this war be damned. Who would have guessed I would come to a mission and trade a prison for a cloister? If only we had both escaped. Alas, the bars were too strong, the Tuatha too cruel. Your brother-in-arms, Mason. Sadly, no good loot to be had. You can read some of the gravestones. Beneath lie the remains of Alden Gorhart, later Father Visionary. May Mitharu grant him rest in peace in keeping with the authorities' order 1420. Not all of the gravestones are interactable. However, later in the story, another gravestone will be interactable at other gravesites.
Are you content to live among the lives of the mission? They look down their eyes at you. They laugh at your ignorance. Help me to expose the mission for what it truly is. A prison of ideas in which they hope to keep us locked away forever. But I tell you, your mind must not be caged.
Talk to Sister Zelda.
Whatever you do, avoid the monks of St. Odwig's Perpetual. They deal in lies and false tenets. Their light of hope will leave you in shadow. If such creatures were not part of the authorities' plan, then they would not exist in nature, period. Mitharu's divine order governs all, even the Fae. It is the name I chose when I baptized myself in the clear waters of Mitharu. I have undergone the ordination rites and am as legitimate as any monk. You don't know. It is less a mission than a fortress of deception, a citadel of lies. It throws its menacing shadow over all of Gorhart. Father Dinwell will try to defend his cause, but he is simply a soldier, marching to the orders passed down to him. None of them have minds of their own. He would be a good man if he could see past the rigidity of his faith. Mitharu embraces all, not simply those that the church deems worthy. She was wronged by someone in this village. That is an injustice I can understand. By its appearance, you'd assume Gorhart is a pleasant place. Never make assumptions. If such creatures were not part of the authorities...
Okay. Talk to Father Dinwell.
Welcome to St. Odwig's perpetual mission. I would invite you in, but the Order has been too trusting in the past. We try to learn from our mistakes. Although, one never knows what might be a test of faith.
I love that.
You have arrived just when I am in need of aid. So perhaps Mitharu is at work.
Tell me about the Fae.
The Fae are stubborn fools. They treat their souls like toys, with no thought of right or wrong, chaos or order. I have been with the mission since its founding. These boys are like my sons. I live my life as an example of Mitharu's wishes for our kind. Frustrating, that one, stubborn to the spirit. She claims to know the will of Mitharu better than those of us who have spent a lifetime studying scripture. If only she would be touched by the hand of reason. The first bricks were laid 50 years ago by Odwig himself, before his demise at the hands of trolls. We honor him by converting the Fae to the worship of Mitharu. Alas, we have yet to convert a single one. But that does not keep us from trying.
You need aid?
We at St. Odwig's have worked for years to establish a presence on this hill. It's not been without its challenges. The call of the Feylands does not fall upon deaf ears, and many of our youngest don't have the will to resist. Take Brother Egan, for example. 2 nights ago, Egan ventured past the walls to collect firewood and never returned. We must find him before anything happens.
Why are you worried?
Oderath is a savage land. Every day we must face both the beasts of the wood and the evil of wicked hearts. I fear for Brother Egan's soul. He knows nothing of the world of Fae and Alpha, trust and temptation. He is like a baby, eyes wide at the world around him.
I'll help.
Mitharu be praised. His order reigns supreme. Brother Egan was last seen northeast of here, just off the road near the Fae ruins. Please find him. Perhaps then we can welcome you into the fold with open arms. He is a good boy, but our youngest, and Egan often suffers from doubt. That is to be expected. One can only grow out of conflict, especially conflict of the spirit. I tried my best to comfort him and tell him that wisdom would come in time, but he is impatient, rash. He wanted a faster way to enlightenment and power.
Where should I look?
Egan was last seen in the woods outside the walls, just north of the village. Bless you, child.
All right.
Are you content to live among the lives of the mission? They look down their eyes at you. They laugh at your ignorance.
Talk to Ugna.
Do the half-truths of these wise men exhaust?
Nothing to see back here. Just a man working for his pay.
Yeah,
We in
then why are you
Gorhart
a
like to
named
stay
NPC?
focused on our business. That way the Fae stay focused on theirs. Gorhart is an Elmain settlement, so you won't find too many Alfar here. They tend to stay close to Rathia, their city on the coast. I don't mind them. If there was ever a reason to believe that Fae and mortals cannot live together, It is this strange and brutal war. The Alfar fight without any true knowledge of the enemy they face. I've seen this kind of conflict before and it never ends well. The peace between mortals and the Fae is a passing one. They will always see us as occupiers of this land. We borrow what can never be given. Those fools in that mission on the hill are wasting their days. Creatures of such power do not worship gods, they are gods. Suits my needs just fine. It's remote, away from the shadows of the Crystal Wall. It's also quiet. Well, most of the time. What do you know of the Red Legion? Whatever it is, forget it. You'll be safer, wiser, and better off in the end. Ignorance is bliss, my friend. Their goal is to convince the Fae of their folly, but one cannot reason with the sunrise, ask the wind to cease its chill. You should speak with them if you haven't already. They are a sorry lot, and their numbers dwindle. Men forsake their faith and disappear into the woods, or worse. I'd rather not talk about it. My past is a murky place. It's better not to enter, lest you wish to get lost there.
That's a poetic way of saying that. Now this is also an up-for-grabs chest. Free elm staff. This is an upgrade, deals ice and freezing, and has a socket. I'm not level 2. I am level 2. What are you talking about? Steel frost disc. This will let me create chakrams. However, as per the rules of engagement, we will not be creating any weapons. We will only be using weapons that we find. Now, this is the prison. You can only get in and out of the prison with the key. Unlocking it is a crime. You can pickpocket the key off of guards near the prison door. This is the crafting hall. There's materials and our first opportunity to sell items. And in the inn, we can purchase an upgrade to our bag capacity, which is something we definitely want. We're going to start off here in the crafting hall. To our left is a general goods merchant. To our right is a blacksmith. She can repair our gear for a low cost.
Welcome.
There are also free supplies in the chest here. And upstairs, if you feel like being a sneak thief, you can take journals and the like. You can read Rika's journal. If you so desire, but that's not one I'll be reading right now. It's free to look around, it's not free to actually steal. I will be trying my best to steal as few items as possible. Anytime there's a legitimate path to complete something, I'll prefer to do that. Let's talk to Nettie Grovis.
Are you here for a weapon? Going to earn a lord's favor in this ridiculous war, are you? Troublesome creatures, the Alfar. No doubt this war is a result of their meddling in the affairs of others. We here in Gorhart are far from the front, and deliberately so. Our hearts may be with the Alfar, but our bodies stay here, safe on the other side of Dallentarth. We've seen our fair share of dead. The truth is, we have as many cemeteries as we do settlements. Look around you. These are no mere woods. This is the heart of the Feylands. Once you enter the forest, you won't emerge again until you reach the plains. The Fey are one with this land in ways that no mortal race could ever be. They are true creatures of magic. Leave the village, walk 50 paces in any direction, and you'll find a Fey. Pray it's a friendly one. It is an Alfar stronghold in the east. And if the reports from the front are to be believed, Melsenshir is all that stands between the Tuatha and us.
And us.
I intended to pledge my sword to the Alfar, to fight the blasted Tuatha. Had my helmet freshly polished, my sword sharpened to a deadly edge. Then I saw the carts headed west. They carried the corpses of the fallen, some all the way from Melsenshir. After that, my fire to fight went out. Forever.
Those corpses were being brought back to Tuatha.
I hear their warriors die as easily as any others, only they don't stay dead. That can be a problem during wartime.
Weaponsmith.
I was raised to know weapons before anything else. You won't meet many women who could fashion arrow fletchings before they could speak.
Alright, so she can repair items for us for a gold cost. Let's start off by looking at the difference in sell price for this scalding staff. Currently, it's worth only 140 gold to repair it for 14 durability.
I'll be here.
Let's go ahead and see how much it sells for. At Rika Egest.
Welcome to Gorhart, the last settlement before the Feylands. How can I fill your pack today?
So currently we can see... Oh, I guess we can't see our equipped weapon? Okay, let's just take a look at this crude birch staff. They will give us 1 gold for it.
Come see me again.
Let's see what happens if we repair it.
Can I help you?
Costs 170 gold to repair it. What do you think? Is this going to be worth repairing?
So long.
Yes, what do you need?
The crude birch staff is now worth 1. That's correct. All of these starting equipment will never be worth more than 1. Don't waste your gold on it. Now, I wasted my gold as a lesson to you all. Just sell it. Some items are trash items. Things like torn robes. They'll always be low value. In general, only sell things when they're fully repaired, though. Unless the sell value is under 100, in which case, just get rid of it. Some things are just not worth your time. In general, in Kingdoms of Amalur, you don't want to waste your time on anything less than 100 gold. However, when it comes to carry weight, your carry weight is worth to you about 25 gold. It's best not to pick things up that are not 25 gold or more. Now, because we won't be focusing a lot on ingredients, we are also free to sell things like scarwood bark and white flake. We can also sell shadow prisms, because I never use them. In fact, there's only about 2 things in this game that you need a shadow prism for. And you can buy it when you need it. Otherwise, it takes an inventory space. I'm also going to be selling every shard I find until I reach a high enough level of blacksmithing for that to matter. I will not be selling any ingredients for construction, as those do not count towards your carry weight. I will also not be selling repair kits, as I need those for the field. I will not be selling any lockpicks until I get to 100 lockpicks, which is the maximum for 1 stack, at which point I will sell 50 lockpicks. I am selling things like the well progress log. It takes up an inventory space and is only worth 2. I will not be selling the Alfar Navy recruitment letter, as I need that for the DLC quest later on. I will be selling the Frostweave hand wraps for 2,000 gold. I'm not using them now, and I'm not likely to use them later, as it doesn't do a lot until you get 3. I can always buy it back if I need to. So I'll sell it for 21.20. Same thing with the Student's Robe of Luck. Really not my bag. So, let's go back to buy. And now let's go look and scroll down, and we can see there's a buyback section where we can purchase the things we've sold for the same price we sold them for. I can purchase more lockpack. I would like a backpack at some point. There are quite a few backpacks available, and each one increases your inventory limit by 10 spaces. Very useful. I don't particularly need any weapons or armor, but I'll always take a look. It's a pretty good longbow, but it's not 1,000 gold good. Let's speak with her.
The Alfar and the Tuatha have been at each other's throats for nearly a decade now. I can't remember the reason. I wonder if they can, the fools. You will find it settled on a small lake beside the eastern road. Compared to Gorhart, Didenhill could be called a city. The Fae are elemental creatures, magical and strange. None too considerate of us mortals either. They see us like pets, or worse, like bugs. It's best that you stay out of the eastern forest. I've seen things you can't even imagine. The road is dark and dangerous, and it's a long hike to Didenhill.
It really isn't. You can run there in like 2 minutes. Just ignore the combat.
Some call it the Camp of Cowards, on account of it being settled by those who refuse to enter the forest. Can you blame them? Never trust a wood that whispers. There's Nettie the smith, and Nanny handles potions and remedies. The inn's across the way if you fancy a pint. Keep an eye out for the Red Legion, though. Oh, I doubt it's an organized group. More likely that it's one scared idiot with a knife. I heard someone in the village mention the Red Legion, but that can't be true. Me? Widowed, going on 5 years now. All my boys were taken by the Tuatha. Both sons, my brother, and my beloved Avery. Wicked business, this war. I refuse to speak of them. Please respect my wishes.
Good for you, lady.
Come see me again.
Now, she has a chest, which you could, if you are a bad person, steal. You can also try to find a book. This is the compendium. Tells you about the Varani peoples. Let's go ahead and grab these free supplies. These do not cost any... They don't cost any space to carry supplies with.
Thankfully, the war is far from here.
You can look inside this chest for free. It's almost never worth stealing. And we can use this to craft armor or weapons. But, going by our rules, we won't be doing that. But this is what that looks like. Select 2 ingredients, and combine them. Crafted weapons scale up with your blacksmithing skill. And your player level. I could make hand wraps. Generally, not worth it. The base level of crafting ingredient is kind of pointless. Alright. We can go pick up a quest from Natty.
Faye, in Gorhart. It isn't right.
There's a guard. So, Downstairs, we can, if we choose to, in here, steal the greater potion needed to heal the Fae. Now, healthcare should be free. So, I will make an exception for my usual behavior. And you can also see that Natty experiments on chickens. And she even dissects them. Probably does her research. But we're taking that. Should we? Probably not. Are we going to? Yes. Cripple spore caps. By Nanny Henry. Cripple spore cap. Type of fungus. Cripple spore cap. Firmly in the poison sphere. Now, this is how the alchemical lab works. You can create potions that you know the recipe for. You can experiment by combining potions, like scarwood bark, black cohosh, and white flake. I do not have the memories memorized, but I'll show you what that looks like. Let's take a scarwood bark and a black cohosh and start the experiment. It didn't make a potion. Let's take a black cohosh and a white flake and start the experiment. It did not work. That's okay. We now know that scarwood bark, black cohosh, and the white flake don't appear to have any uses together. But we haven't checked scarwood bark and white flake. We don't need to.
What do you want?
Well, you know, just free healthcare. Hey, Nanny.
No, you there. Do you feel nauseous? Itchy? Have you noticed any blood leaking from your eye sockets? I've been noticing the symptoms everywhere. No, this situation could not be any worse. If the Red Legion is involved, then we could all be staring death in the face. What have I done?
So, you can also purchase a healing potion from her legitimately for 1,200 gold. I don't think that the people in this village have 1,200 gold. When you're going to make potions to use, you can temporarily access higher levels of potion by taking a minor alchemist's art, which increases your alchemy skill by 1 for the duration. Same thing goes for things like blacksmithing potions. You can purchase health potions should you need them. And purification potions are also something that you often want. This cures non-magical diseases and grants immunity. We will be buying 2 of them. Good to have. Cost 370 gold each. Worthwhile investment. You can purchase other important things like Steeled Curtain or Warrior Strength. Warrior Strength provides temporary HP. You can purchase additional ingredients like black cohosh, cripple spore caps, ember eyes, sativa powder. This is a great way to learn new recipes. So let's go ahead and learn one. Let's go ahead and buy 3 of these, 3 of these, 3 of these, and 3 of those.
Please come back.
Yeah. In a bit. You can experiment with different materials to create different potions, like black cohosh and ember eyes. To learn the minor healing potion recipe, I can now make my own minor healing potions. Ember eyes gives you restoration, black cohosh gives you health. So, if you take things like damage and poison, guess what that makes? Mana and Restoration creates a mana potion. Let's create one more minor healing potion. And that's how alchemy works. Alright.
No, this is... Please
Back to
listen to
Nanny.
me. Everything I've done may be ruined.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Why ask questions when you could never understand the answers? It's clear your prowess is not with wit, but with a weapon. If you must know, something of value has been stolen. An alchemical formula that, if released, could cause untold devastation. I see its symptoms everywhere. Only my apprentice, Karth, and I knew of my work on the formula, but he's gone missing as well.
What is the formula?
It was an early version, unstable and rife with potential dangers. My hope is to develop a weapon that the Alfar can bring against our common enemy, the Tuatha. To say more would be to reveal my secrets. All I can say is that it involves lesions, goiters, and a good deal of pus.
So it sounds like a rotting poison.
His name was Karth Hilfred. I found him one morning outside my door, picking through the ember eyes. I was impressed how well he knew his way around a plant. I've never seen one so eager to learn.
I'll help you.
I do not deserve such goodwill after what I've engineered. If disaster occurs in Odorath, it will be on my head.
Odorath is one
I'm
of
not
the
sure
regions
where
of the
Karth
game.
may have gone, but I knew that before he came to me, he found shelter in the ancient chambers of Agnurfar Hall, an Irathi ruin east of Gorhart. Once you've ensured Karth's safety, you must learn what's happened to my formula. When you do, destroy it. It's the only way to keep us safe.
Agnurfar
The
Hall.
villagers believe it's haunted, but I have a feeling that's a ruse devised by the Red Legion. They mean to terrorize these people into submission, and it's working.
Alistair.
Haven't you seen it? The grim tower to the west. Avoid its shadow if you can, because what transpires inside Alistair will benefit no one. I would know.
Crystal War.
I have seen many conflicts unfold, but never have I seen one in which the fates of so many are at stake. The Tuatha will not settle for simple victory. They want total domination and will do whatever it takes to achieve it.
Experiments.
For years I dabbled in alchemy, healing, divination and transmutation. All of that seems frivolous now, what with the war looming over us. Now I spend my sleepless nights in search of a formula that will end such conflicts forever.
That's terrifying.
I fear for his life. Karth was gifted in a way that I've witnessed in only a select few. If the Red Legion has him, there's no telling of how he'll be treated. If you must know, my name is Nani Henry, formerly the chief alchemist of Alistar. But you wouldn't know what that is, would you? When the scholars in the tower ordered me to leave the grounds, I took refuge here. The Almain are a private people, keen to keep to themselves, like me.
Red Legion.
Bandits, ruthless and well organized. The Red Legion is reaping many rewards by preying on vulnerable Almain settlers traveling east. Long ago, these villains confined themselves to the coast, but recently they've moved inland to avoid the war. Now they're our problem.
Tuatha.
They are the Undying, the corrupted roots. Their existence is an abomination. Everything in Amalur exists for a particular reason, except for the Tuatha. They're not meant to be.
Alright.
Goodbye.
That's another quest hook. We now have the potion, so let's go get that Fae healed.
Any help you can provide would be appreciated. She isn't doing very well.
Oh, I can't give her
Hope
the
you stay in
potion
town.
until I talk to Aerie. And Aerie is over here on the map. So to get to her, I need to go up and to the left to find Airy, up to find Brother Egan, and down and to the right to find Nanny's apprentice and do a mini dungeon. Next step is the inn. We're collecting quest hooks, and then we're going to go do a dungeon, and that'll probably be all for just today. I don't have infinite time to do stuff.
Hey.
Always nice when there's music in the game. Now, if I was to be a sneaky boy, I could pickpocket people. You can look in someone's pockets for free.
If you spy trouble, tell Herc Adwold. He's the warden.
No one gets on your case for sneaking, so you can always just look in people's pockets. Now, trainers, like Arnik, you can purchase back the money you spent on training them. Or training with them. Some characters have diaries that you can pickpocket from them to learn more about their personal story.
How may I serve?
You can also examine people's magical items while pickpocketing them, which is very funny. So she can heal our poison condition.
I am Katrin. Do you require my healing touch in mind, body,
Keep in
or
mind,
both?
a purification potion is about 370 gold pieces. Let's see how much that costs us. 156. Much better. It also renders us resistant to poisons for a short time.
The Gnome's Tower stands to the west, past Gorhart and beyond the ruins of Alistar Glade. However, no one should seek Alistar. Its secrets should be kept. I am unable to watch while others suffer. Too many mortals have fallen prey to the Tuatha, and I could not stomach it. So I left my home in Rathir and traveled west. There are many Almain villages just like this one, yearning for peace, crying out in pain. What good are my gifts if I cannot make what is broken whole again?
Well said, Katrin.
The Almain were once different tribes that recently banded together to form an empire. They are formidable creatures, but new to the way of magic.
Character design in this game is really something else, huh?
I buried everything I was when I buried my family. That is the war's legacy for many of us. That is all I have the strength to say.
Poor girl. You can meet other Always later on.
The forests of this region are one of the densest in all of Amalur, and the stretch from Alistar to Issa. Those of us who live in the shadow of its canopy call Dalantarth the Feylands, because this is where these fair folk have their seat of power. Find the fair folk if you wish to learn the ways of magic. They understand this world in a way that is hidden from mortals. You will find many Fey in Dalantarth, as it is one of their ancestral homes. This has been my home ever since my love was taken by the Tuatha. After such a loss, one craves quiet, but it seems that the war has followed me here. I require a nominal fee only so I may eat and have a bed to call my own. The glorious Alfar city to the east is where the forces of right gather to face the Tuatha. It is an enchanting place with a long history of magic. Magic is a natural wonder, no matter how you use it.
Such an amazing
The Tuatha are the exception. Their power is tainted, and it has caused a grave imbalance. Be careful out there.
You can take the book Black Eric. The people's hero, Black Eric, the sprightly one, and his adventures across Amalur. Almost never worth it. That was kind of creepy. Visit the craft hall. This is a flyer to tell you to go to the craft hall in Dyden Hill. Now, as you'll notice, everyone can see me. As the bar lowers, people will no longer see you. Once the bar is completely emptied, you are free to act without being spotted. Like so. You can pick open a lock without triggering someone's crime index, but opening it and taking things is a bad thing to do. Guards that can see you will always call you out on picking any lock. It jiggles there. It jiggles there. Jiggles there. It doesn't jiggle there. We can steal any of these. This is really only vendor trash and not worth our time. Typically, you won't see me opening things to steal with any frequency at all. Here's a quest hook off of Ostordura for the Warsworn faction.
Times are hard, but hard times can pay if you're willing to take risks. If you have the sword and stomach for this sort of work, we could use another strong arm among the Warsworn.
This guy rolls his R's, I love it.
Peaceful enough, if it's peace and quiet you like. Trouble with bandits and rogues now and then, that's when they send for me. There's a war in the east, and Dalentarth's got our own troubles with the Red Legion thieves. Some say they've seen Tuatha in these parts. Fools, I'll believe that when I see it.
I have seen Tuatha.
That's me. Warsworn since before you've been drawing breath. And Oathblade near as long. Easy now, stripling. Earn your way to Pledge Shield first. Then, in 5 or 10 years' good service, you'll make Oathblade. A name taken by some lot of scoundrels to glorify their thievery. A name breeds fear and doesn't die like a man. But killing the men who use the name is a start, eh?
He seems to relish killing people.
They're unlike any Fae you've ever seen. Red eyes to match their armor, and fierce as rabid wolves. What have you been living under? We've been at war with the Tuatha for 15 years. Fae are folk, but not mortal folk. They're not concerned with the things we mortals are.
Tell me about the Warsworn.
Some may try to color it with fancy words, but we're warriors for hire, the best in these lands. You'll find those who have taken the oath are held in the highest respect all over Amalur.
I'd like to join.
You could head straight to Shieldring Keep and pledge your sword. Might work, but a commendation from me would carry a lot of weight. To earn it, you must do something commendable. There are 2 brothers, scoundrels of the Red Legion, named Osgar and Medgar Krast. Bring me proof you've dealt with them. I'll pay in coin and my good word. We've had our eyes on those 2 for some time. Red Legion scum. They're both dangerous, but it may help to know Oscar favors the bow, while Medgar favors the spear.
Sadly, spears are not a weapon type that the player character has access to in this game. That's something I would fix.
Shieldring. The oldest home to the Warsworn, in the Feylands at least.
Real talk, if you're ever if you're ever in need of a melee weapon, the spear is the finest melee weapon you can acquire for the majority of your purposes. The halberd is a step above it. However, they're difficult to use and require quite a bit of training. But they give you space, and they project your force outwards. Having a spear is a great way to defend yourself, if you require it. Most of the time, you don't need to carry a spear around, because the world is kind of a safer place.
We're fighters for hire. There are none better with steel, swinging it, or shaping it, and none held in higher regard.
We're the Crash brothers.
Osgard hides somewhere in the woods north of here. Medgar was last seen east of his brother's camp. Bring me their Legion daggers, and I'll pay with coin, and a commendation to join the order. Right then.
One of the brothers is going to be here, and the other brother somewhere around here. Can't remember exactly where. Talk to Arnik.
Come in, rest your boots by the fire, and drown your worries in a flagon of our finest. I am Arnik Arduna, and this is the famous Gorhart Inn.
Arnik is a skill trainer. Skill trainers have 3 tiers, and they can only train you when your innate skill is lower than or equal to what they offer. Leveling up and obtaining certain items will lock you off from accessing a permanent skill upgrade. Arnak is a basic trainer. If I had 1,500 gold right now, I could get Detect Hidden. I want this ability whenever possible. However, I, as you know, put a point into it to get a second point in it already. So once I level up again, I will continue investing, and I won't be able to get training from Arnik unless I get the gold before that point. The best time to access training is directly after you respec with a Fate Weaver. Typically, it's best to respec all of your skills and then travel around to any skill trainer whose location you know. Start with the basic and work your way up. Only when your passive training skill is lower than the trainer should you seek them out. I would purchase this if I was able.
The lifestyle of a soldier did not suit me. Unlike many of my brethren, I wish to celebrate with others, not kill them. Starting a public house seemed the logical step. Established 70 years ago by the great Alden Gorhart, this inn was the first all-main structure in all of Dalentarth. I won it from him in a game of knuckles. Dida serves the finest ales, and upstairs you'll find Katrin the healer. Here's some advice. Avoid Nanny Henry. I don't know what she's brewing in her little shack. Don't you bother yourself with that. Gorhart is safe. Our greatest concern is passing the time. We can offer you a place to rest and refresh yourself. Interested?
You can heal up to full. Once you rent the bed, you can use it again and again as often as you like. I don't believe it offers storage at this point, so it's typically not worth it. If you do need healing, then you can go for it.
We're here to serve. Don't worry about that, my friend. Don't let the concerns of our local warden trouble you. You're here as a guest. There is no Red Legion. And if there was, it certainly wouldn't be out here in Gorhart.
You, sir, are a liar.
Stick around.
It's busy today. Pull up a stool, stranger. We don't have much, but what we have won't leave a hole in your pocket. Are you here about that Fey girl they found outside?
Well, now that you mention it, sure.
New to the area? I don't recall the last time I met someone who was unfamiliar with the Alpha. There are two groups. There used to be one, but that was many years ago.
Thank you for
the
the
Loselfar are cool,
exposition.
slightly aloof. The Docklefar, however, are very friendly, but their charm masks a mischievous nature. I must be honest, sometimes I forget who we are fighting. All I know is that the humans and Alpha have been battling the enemy for close to 10 years now.
15, lady.
Nothing of interest to tell. I'm just a simple farm girl from the plains of Erethel. I left home as a girl and travelled west. Found myself here in Gorhart.
Interestingly, there are basically no children in this entire game.
All I know is what I've heard from others. They say that the fair folk possess powerful nature magic. That would explain the beauty of these woods. I've worked here since I was a girl. Arnik runs an honest business, and Ugnard treats me like a daughter, though he doesn't say much. If you need a healer's touch, Katrin works out of a room upstairs. She's Alpha, but I wouldn't hold that against her. It's as good a place as any, I guess. The Fae are strange, but they rarely bother us down here. I worry more about Nanny Henry, the creepy old alchemist.
Well, yeah, she's making a war crime.
Vast rolling hills east of here near the coast. You should head that way if you wish to join the war effort. The Alpha need all the help they can get.
And because she was making something without permission to do so or good oversight, someone stole the research and caused a large amount of damage. This is why you don't experiment on alchemical creations without proper supervision and permission.
The mission? I don't know much about it. I will
That's my
say
character's
this.
lips.
It's a waste of good lads, that Order of Nitharu. Not many available suitors in Gorhart, if you haven't noticed.
I think she's saying she's single.
I feel terrible about what happened to that girl. Gorhart used to be a nice little village. These days we're jumping at shadows.
A person was stabbed. That's not a shadow. Alright, she sells more powerful weapons. The innkeepers typically have the good stuff. So, crit chance, crit damage, all nice, all nice. Piercing damage is OP. Buying a powerful longbow is a nice goal to have. Hammers are good, etc. I could purchase a hammer. I just think I'll probably find one for free. I could purchase a longbow, but I'll probably find one for free. The chakrams, however, are definitely a favorite. Until you have the staff's second attack form, chakrams will provide you with more DPS at a better range and give you the ability to hold enemies farther from you. Purchasing these iron chakrams might be a good idea. If I don't find any chakrams in the first dungeon I go and do, I'll go ahead and grab that. I could also purchase things like armor if I need it. The hard part is wearing it. It's almost never useful to purchase items in the very early game. Amon's Key lets you find a lockbox. This is a good buy. Keys don't take up any space. So, that's all for now. Do I have anything else to sell? I do. I can sell off my daggers. Don't need them. My birch scepter. Don't need that. And I can sell off both of my birch staffs. I'll use this healing potion later.
Nice talking to you.
So, let's review our inventory. We should probably repair our staff and then head off and do the first dungeon. That is the candle mine, stone candle mine to the west.
Need supplies? Try
So,
the corner shop.
We're going to go back to the crafting hall and speak to the smith.
Can I help you?
Typically, unless something is below 5 durability, it's not cost effective to repair it.
So long.
We have a backup staff. Well, this is a better staff. Once we hit level 2. Then we have a backup weapon, the longsword, or the fine iron hammer. Okay, let's start on that quest. Because I know the location of the quest, I should be able to fast travel there. Here to the Stone Candle Mines. There are wolves around, so be ready. We might have to fight them. The wolves are not here because we fast traveled. Alright, we're going to find kobolds here. Kobolds attack in groups. They have a long recovery window after their attack, and their attacks are very well, what's the word? Choreographed? No. What's the word I'm looking for? Telegraphed. They will telegraph their attack. We are currently resistant to poisons. So, if you see these flitting butterflies, that means something is around. We're going to get ready with our bow. You can cancel your shot by rolling out of it. In this case, the thing that was around were some herbs. I think if you activate your fate sight around those, you also get something, if I recall correctly. So we can go left or right. I'm going to go left. You can see the local map. That's a jump point. I think this actually lets us jump back around. And be careful for traps. Ah, yes. You can see a trap right there. If I step on that, I take a bear trap damage. Let's go ahead and pick this lock. Start on the left. Broke a lockpick. Costs 1 lockpick to get a cotton robe and a new elm staff. This has greater base armor, so we are going to be using it. Oh, actually, I guess it does take up your leg space, so I guess I should switch that back. Elm staff. Nice to have. Fine leather gloves has higher base armor, so I'm going to equip that. And let's switch back our armor again, because this takes up the chest and leg slot. And watch out for the bear trap. Charged arrow, lightning blast, and then grab somebody with the harpoon shot. Watch out for bear traps. Kobolds tend to leave traps behind themselves to whittle down their opponents, and because we're playing on very hard, traps deal more damage. Most traps can be avoided. String traps can often be rolled through. You can roll to avoid quite a bit of damage in this game. This is our first enemy encounter. Healing potion. Luckily, we have an auto-save here. So now you can see the consequences of underestimating the kobolds. It's okay, we run it back. And the loot is the same. So, let's try a little harder not to die. A single 3-hit from these kobolds is enough to kill me. Probably not a good sign. I'm gonna give it one more shot. I'm gonna try a little bit harder to focus. Let's hit the trigger. There it is. Okay, I think these kobolds are a little too strong for me right now. Which is a disappointment, but that's okay. I just don't have the damage to deal with them effectively. We'll have to fight some wolves coming out of here. Or not. Okay. Back to Gorhart. Obviously, we can't handle the wolves. So let's go do another quest and try to get another level so we can be a bit stronger. As you level up, you will get a bit tougher. And luckily you don't lose resources that you used when you died. That's a good item to have. That's a great item to have. That's a good item to have for later. Anonymous journal. I don't really need it. So those are boggarts. Boggarts are especially vulnerable to fire damage. So before fighting them, we're going to switch over to something that does more fire damage. But that is actually our scalding staff. So let's go mess them up. Enemies in this game on very hard are exceptionally deadly. We gain Death's Touch, which gives us a chance to steal health and mana on a weapon hit. There's a bear. Frostweave shoes. That's a second piece. We could get access to health regen if we go and buy the item back that we sold. We would need sorcery 6 to use them though. Lightning shard is useful for selling. Here's a chest. Crude longbow, that's junk. Shadow prism is junk. Repair kit is good. Here's a lore stone. This is free experience points.
I don't know if what the Fae say about these stones is true, but if it is, well, this is just too good to not save forever. Lystrom was out of town when Artol was visiting. Now, Lystrom doesn't know Artol, and Artol is older and strange. She could be mistaken for a Fate Weaver. So, when Lystrom came back to town, here was Artol the Oracular. I said to Lystrom, I hear her readings are amazing. You should go. Oh my, you should have seen it. A rooster, she said, will change into a man, and this man will become your lover. He will provide for you, and he will make you laugh, and he will make your life exciting and easier. But, and this is something you can never forget, he must never eat chicken. And once in a while, you will need to peck at things on the ground, and every morning at the break of dawn, you'll hear a loud cry from him.
Dangerous foes. They have a lunging attack. We hit level 2. So, leveling up restores your health. We can put a third point into Detect Hidden, because it pays off in dividends with bonus gold. We now get to improve more skills. We're going to improve more skills by 1 each. Now, the ones we want. We want 1 point in each tree to keep it balanced. Mana cost and damage goes up on the harpoon. However, it is not a significant amount of damage for the mana value. It costs 3 more mana and only deals 5 plus 3 piercing damage. So 3 more mana for 8 more damage is fine. You're not a bad person for choosing it, but I wouldn't recommend. Instead, take a point in Skillful Defense. You want this maxed out as soon as possible. In Finesse, we can use our longbow to great effect, and if we find a powerful Fade Blade or Dagger, we'll start putting points into those. we can also choose Shadow Flare. Shadow Flare deals 3 physical damage, and the second cast also deals 20 piercing damage and 20 bleeding damage, or 10 bleeding damage over 5. It's usually good to hit with both casts of Shadow Flare. So currently, upgrading it increases the damage by 2 for 2 mana, but on the second hit, increases the damage by 15, which makes it much more effective than improving Harpoon. However, even better is Longbow Mastery. Gives you 1 more arrow, 2 more physical damage, and a 5% scaling damage boost. Assassin's Art is not very important. I personally don't recommend it unless you are building a massive dagger stealth build. So I would say put your points into either Shadow Flare if you want to keep it simple, or if you're like me, put more points into the bow. The bow scales very, very well. Lastly, in sorcery, we are currently using our staff to good effect, but we're also going to want chakrams. And because of that, we know that arcane weaponry is a good investment. So we're going to continue to we're going to continue investing in the arcane weaponry so we can get to arcane weaponry 2 as soon as possible. That's good for our levels. We're still a seeker. And we can now equip that armor we were unable to equip earlier. No. We don't have Formite. That's the reduced value. We can equip the new weapon that we found. Unless we're fighting boggarts, it's a great choice, as it deals just more flat damage. This is 11 plus 5, and then 4 plus 3, so that's 15 plus 8. And this is 21 plus 9, which is much better. We'll switch over if we're fighting boggarts. We're going to clear out the base level instead of sticking to the dungeon. Although I suppose we can go try the dungeon over here. There are a couple rune stones, which is good free level, and lore stones. Alright. There are also brownies and bandits in this location. Sky Blossom. Every few days, you get access to new ingredients that respawn. Ingredients can be found both indoors and outdoors. With a high enough alchemy, you'll see ingredients show up on the map. Take the contents of this chest. Oh, feels bad. Hardened boots. Don't mind if I do. Get rid of this here in case we have to fight him. Hey, Karth.
What you doing down here? Don't you know Agna Farhold is haunted by the spirits of the Arathi?
Yeah, no, it's
so,
not,
are you foolish or just stupid? Not much is known about the fabled beings of Order. They abandoned this world long ago, leaving ruins such as this as a testament to their glory. I hope that by spreading tales of spirits and boogeymen, they could prevent the curious villagers from exploring too deeply. One can always hope.
It's nice that enemies will just tell you their motivations.
I'm skilled in alchemy, but it has never brought me riches or respect. The only way I will ever find glory in this life is as part of the Red Legion.
Yeah, sure, being a bandit's glorious. Definitely, I agree with that.
She, like so many others in Gorhart, is prone to ignorance. She sees what she wants to see. I am her dutiful apprentice, and she is the wise mentor. Her whole life is a lie, she tells herself.
Why is he just telling me all this?
They're very careful about whom they allow into their ranks, and they were resistant about my membership at first. At least until I told them about Nanny. Her discovery will fetch a high price in Rathir. Could even decide this misbegotten war. Still, that is no concern of mine. I simply want to be one of the Red.
What happened to the formula, bud?
Oh, I see. The twisted gnome has found herself a champion. How delightful. Nanny always was a fool. So immersed in her work that she failed to see the deception before her very eyes. The Red Legion has her formula, because I gave it to them. At this very moment, they are moving crates of it eastward towards the city of Rathir, where they will fetch a high price. Poor Nanny. So trusting, so pathetic. Of course she can never learn of my ruse, can she? I'm sorry. I have no choice.
Mix and match up the weapon damages. Used a potion, but that's fine. That's why we make them. Out of black cohosh and ember eyes. Took some chip damage there. But I do have a little bit of health regen nowadays. My ring, I think. Right? No, I don't. Not yet. I'll get that soon enough. Until then, we'll just have to be careful. Now that we have a bit of fate energy, it's a good idea to lure the enemies together. So we can lure them into this brownie cave over here. Oh, he'll just stop? Well, that's funny. Okay. I guess we can't lure these ones. So I'm going to go use this fate energy to take care of these brownies, because there's 4 enemies and it multiplies the experience. is going to be definitely mappable.
Sometimes this is too hard to believe. But you can accept the strangest fact that you were wrong. Yes, but that and this endless vacuity is horrible. The Ancient Ones were here. They delivered themselves into the world. The time-worn cycle turns with ages. The seasons drift along the stream. They wait for the past. The future brings the forming storm. This is no place for a home, for anyone.
So, the hammer. 2. Simple as that. Also, if you don't want the 3-hit combo, you can shield out of these kinds of melee weapon swings. So, let's head back to those guards, right? Let's not leave them. We can get a first hit. Anytime you can get the advantage on an attack by sneaking up on your opponent, just go ahead and do that. We've been down here. Now we can go to the right or forward. Doesn't matter which way you go. This is a side door. There's brownies here. Let's go ahead and take them out. Dead corpse. Those shadow prisms to junk. Fine iron helm. Excellent. Gauntlets of the anti-venom. Excellent. Do love more armor. There's a chest. Charge ward trim. There's the third piece of our Frostweave set. This armor is encouraging us to build one more point in sorcery at the next level. When we do that, we'll be able to access health regen, which is incredibly important, and we'll have a 3-set bonus. So this is pushing us towards caster. Very nice. I think we need 6 points to wield all 3 pieces of the set, though. So that might have to wait a while. Alright, now we can go to the right. We've taken a fair bit of damage, so let's be careful not to take too much more. There's some enemies. That's what they're for. You don't put potions in a game if you don't want your players to use them. I should be using line of sight a little more often to avoid damage. So, there's enemies here, down below. And we can't progress to the right, so we have to go around. Minor frostbite increases our ice damage. Alright, so enemies down here. We're almost full. We're going to start off with a bow attack into lightning, and then we'll pull someone in, and we'll activate Fate Sworn as soon as we can. Bonus XP. Okay. We're using quite a bit of healing potions, but that's alright, that's what they're for. Let's start breaking the shipments. Take this lore stone.
These walls are grown, are built of stone. Lovingly this place was crafted. You see the lights, the mystic halls of ordered reality? They are the faces of the missing, the embodied truth of the lost souls. There are so many of them. Still, you can see them. They are like pathetic charades, some with good intentions, and you can't fault them that. But the majority of them are just a hoax. Needless to say, I don't like it here. You could have stayed free and lived a comfortable life, but you couldn't settle the disquiet that haunts people like you.
Alright. We finished our first dungeon. Took some damage, but got quite a bit of loot in return, and progressed one of the quests. Now before we leave, there's a bonus chest up here. Boiled leather gloves, toss those. Crude chainmail, equip that. Squire's gauntlets. Health is better than poison resistance because you're using health all the time. And of course you can just jump for free. There should be a bear when we come around here. Although I guess because we killed him recently, he doesn't respond just yet. Or does it always happen when we come around the other direction? There it is. Ow. Love it. Alright. Well, we completed our first dungeon and should probably head back to town. But I've got a buff to restore health on hit, which is going to encourage me to seek out glorious combat. So let's go use that. Now, take 3 hits. We got a death notice for Mr. Wolfat. And if you believe that, do I have something to tell you? I can tell her that her husband is dead, but that might be a lie. So I'm not gonna. Okay. Now then. We could go fight some more Red Legion bandits. It can be very dangerous, but potentially worth the reward. So. Some damage, but that lifesteal carried us through. Once you have high enough detect hidden, you'll see there's a secret door here. Otherwise, you can just look through it. It's only an illusion. So, this is where you could consider save-scumming to dispel a chest. However, failing to dispel the chest just lets you open it for later. So, dispel it. Just got to avoid the bad signs. Easy peasy. And now we got to pick it open. Nope. Nope. Yep. 2 shards. Now the reason you know that that's clearly a path is you can kind of see it on the map, and the map is sometimes not good at lying to the player. So, these guys up ahead are dangerous, but they are pretty easy to kill.
She bested Threng in combat fair, Finian cycles kept. The exploits of this maiden's role, a burdensome and heavy toll. She lived among the mortal clans and bargained with their kind. Throughout the town they stood in fear of the brilliant fighter near.
Don't need that one. Health is better than armor because it defends against all damage. But physical damage is the most common type in this game. So, when you go to this bandit camp, killing the guy over to the right will give you a dagger that sits permanently in your inventory. I recommend avoiding that until you kill his brother first, because he's an easier target. There's some kobolds, so let's switch weapons. To our staff. Alright. Easy peasy. So, that's the guy we're supposed to find right there. He'll lead us on a quest to head over here, but we don't really want to do that right now, so we'll worry about it later. But as you can see, that does hurt. So we're going to avoid Brother Egan for just a little bit. And instead, go talk to Aerie so we can finish the elf healing quest. And then, that will be all for today's episode, probably. If I loot this card, I'm pretty sure enemies show up. Lightning. Well, that hurt. But we used a healing potion and got a healing potion in return. So, you know, I'm not even mad. Let's go find Aerie real quick. Over to our hammer. Should be some wolves up ahead. There we go. Got him. Combat at very hard level is quite unforgiving. So you do have to actively try not to die. We got our first Fey Blades. Fey Blades deal a good amount of piercing damage, and I will show you how they work. Their basic attack pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that being said, one shield is probably the best. Pick this lock. Conductive hammer, fantastic. We love seeing.
I have a secret to tell you.
Level 3.
I am not sad.
Ding.
When I was a girl, my father used to tell me that when you grow old with someone, you tie your fates together and create a pattern that is part yours and part theirs. My father said that this is why when an old person dies, their partner is never far behind. But I do not feel that way. I feel free.
Now that we have some decent hammers, we're going to go ahead and put a point into Brutal Weaponry 1. In Finesse, we're going to continue to invest into Longbow Mastery, but we found some Fey Blades to play around with. So, I can show you how their charge special works. We can now activate Wayfinder Tier 2 and gain 3% damage boost. We also get our first +1 to all skills. So now, we should have a +1 to all skills. And the way that looks is under abilities. Wait, that's not right. Destinies. There we go. Part 2. +1 to all skills. Status, skills. We now can see secret doors, and we get more gold, and we get +1 to everything. From blacksmithing, alchemy, dispelling, lockpicking, mercantile, persuasion, sagecraft, and stealth. Now that is some good stuff. The +1 to persuasion in the early game is going to be great. When you level up, you gain bonus health, magic, based on whether you put your points into might, finesse, or sorcery. Finesse gives you a balance of strength, or of health and mana. The Fey Blades are excellent at dealing with creatures like boggarts, because they hit multiple times, which increases the stagger. We got the Thridon's Charge. Under effects, Thridon's Blessing gives you damage and armor, and Thridon's Charge gives you 20% damage. This is a pretty excellent little passive. Highly recommended to pick it up. We're going to go grab another lore stone and fight off some more boggarts. Oh, actually, now that we have a full fate bar, it might be even better to go wreck an entire bunch of enemies. Like these brownies over here. Or the Red Legion. 1, 2, we can get quite a few of them. Let's just go ahead and use it on the boggarts on this little island. There's only 3 of them, but that's fine. Finishing off one enemy finishes off all of them and gives you bonus experience.
If I have to live for the rest of my life without him knowing, well then I'll deal with that. I think there's something to be said for it. I think it's noble. Yeah, I could tell someone, but that's just asking for praise. What makes it an act of kindness is that nobody knows, or at least that he doesn't know. I let him have the glory. No one has to know his arrow missed. He saved the town. He's a hero.
Well, we just got the best weapon in the game, the chakrams. Armor of phasing. Bonus crit damage and physical resist. Well, that's quite nice. I don't think we need it, but it's nice. So, chakrams are one of the other finest weapons in the game. And they function really, really well. I'll go ahead and show you on these brownies over here. So. Hello, darling. I love you. What time is it? Oh, it's time to head out. Okay. I'm gonna finish up here. Let's use these fire. That ability right there is really strong. Charge ability of the chakrams. Deals a tremendous amount of damage because it hits a whole bunch of times. Now that we have a very strong chakram, we can consider fighting enemies that would once cause us a lot of damage. Very generous hitbox, and I could be using it a bit more efficaciously. There's going to be one more bundle of brownies over here. Excellent to have. Bonus 6 physical, bonus 3 piercing, and then we also get lightning and shocking. Alright. Well, we can go fight some Red Legion if we want. We are feeling pretty confident. Take some damage, but that's fine. Run past him. Let's go ahead and trigger the boss. And activate. Legion down, and Odger Crass defeated. Now we can grab his blade, which is going to stick around in our inventory permanently until we can get rid of it. There's a chest over here with a scepter, which I don't think is a good weapon. Physical piercing and bleeding is fine, but not as good as... Actually, I think that is better. It's technically less damage. I'll keep it as a backup. Nothing in the water over here to swim and catch later. There's a chest right here. Plague bosses. Return to Nanny Henry. Before we do that, let's go ahead and talk to Ares so we can do the quest completion for Nanny Henry. It should just be this way. Quite a bit of distance to cover, but that is what it is. Increased the zones we can fast travel to. And Ares should be over here. I have played more than I anticipated today. But it's a holiday, so you can't really blame me. There's also a chest here, which I think I'd like to pick up.
May your hollow gods keep you mortal. I am called Aerie. Your face is new to me. You're different from those in Gorhart. They amuse me, and I strive to learn all I can from them. Have you come to ask about the Tuatha? I can offer only what I know, and hope it will suffice. I wandered the forest for many seasons, listening to lore stones of the great ballads. Before that, I dwelled in the gardens of Issa. I prefer the quiet of this village, the mirth of the witless. We are kin to the seasons and cycles of all life, to new life and perpetual growth. Mortals may view the warmth of the petals and smell the beauty of a newborn bud, but only Fae know the strength of the roots beneath the surface.
And the Feylands.
Feylands? Yes, I've heard these words before, but do not understand their meaning. There are only Fae, and there is only land. I do find Almain's sentiments so charming. I cannot reveal much. The gardens are the jewel of the summer court, a wonder beheld by few mortals. It is located far east of here in a wood so thick it would devour all but those who knew its secrets. Do not pursue such mysteries, mortal. They are not for you.
Okay, tell me what you really feel.
I adore every sad soul in the village, even stubborn Herc with his tender heart, and drunken old Arnick. The widow fascinates me. She has no idea that her lover is dead. I watch them from my perch, hoping to learn the meaning behind their pursuits and passions. If I could, I would grant each of them an eternity. Alas, I cannot. They contain memories, great moments, ideas, songs and inspirations. The Fae do not record their words in ink or on paper. Ink fades, paper crumbles. Lore stones mark where our kind has made a lasting impression, where the seasons slowed to take note of glory on a grand scale.
The writing in this game is just beautiful.
I find them so interesting, from their vestments to their odd habits and demeanors. Just yesterday I saw a monk from the Almain mission sneaking through the underbrush. Strange creatures you are. Strange, but glorious. I feel them near, flitting through the western woods like shafts of shadow in the sunlight. What could have brought them here, I wonder? The Tuatha do not trouble themselves with easy prey. If they prowl these woods, it is for worthy quarry.
Like me.
Yes, I witnessed this crime, although I did not recognize the one who perpetrated it. It is often difficult to distinguish one mortal from another. The victim was Illuvia, but I knew her only by name. You must be hoping that I can offer advice, but I cannot. If she is meant for the Great Cycle, then so be it. However, I would be quite interested to find out whether one of my kind would benefit from one of your mortal remedies. I've always wondered. It will need to be powerful. Your delicate forms are far more sensitive than ours. In fact, it's astounding that you survive as long as you do.
And now we'll be able to use...
All of us are at the mercy of the
healing
changing
potion.
seasons, mortal and Fae alike. If it is one's time to pass into the Great Cycle, then we must not protest. The passing is keeping with autumn, and is as natural as the eventual rebirth. Farewell.
Okay. So, let's teleport back to Gorhart and turn in our quests. Firstly, tell her we finished the plague.
Everyone in Gorhart is talking about the attacks. They say that the Red Legion is receding back into the shadows from whence they came. It is all thanks to you. You found the formula and destroyed it. Now, you may think you understand the impact of this act, but you truly do not. You are a friend to this village and to me, Nanny Henry. Take this. It is not much, but it gives you an idea of my gratitude.
We got money, robes, and some potions.
He seems so eager to aid me in my work that I've failed to pursue the proper references. Yes, I have only myself to blame for this catastrophe. How was I to know he was a scout and a thief? His interest in alchemy appeared genuine. Our friendship, was that too an act?
Were they more than friends, I wonder? So, we also get a discount, specifically with her, for buying and selling. You'll see that the price of Black Cohosh has gone down. And we also have a higher mercantile skill, which does help. We can sell her things we don't want as well. best to keep the correct items to the correct merchants.
Farewell. You're welcome in my shop anytime.
You can also buy from alchemists recipes on how
And
to make
please
stuff.
enjoy a discount on all services in merch. Farewell.
This would be a good time to purchase a healing potion if you did not steal hers. Let's go turn in the healing potion that we stole.
What is it?
Where is he? There you go.
You made it. Just in time, too. Give me the potion. It will help, but it's not enough. Someone must go to the Fae and explain what happened here. One small misunderstanding and we'll no longer just be strangers to the Fae. We'll be enemies.
Why is the girl important?
She is a member of the House of Ballads, the legendary court of Fae heroes. They are warriors without equal, with centuries of glory to their names. If one of their own was killed by a mortal, the House of Ballads and its king would bring a fierce vengeance upon us. Gorhart would be a ruin by day's end.
What can we do?
I'm not sure yet, but this is bad. She's Fae. Even worse, she's a knight in the House of Ballads. Fae don't kill their own, so it must have been someone in Gorhart. If the House of Ballads learns of this, the king will burn Gorhart to the ground. They see all mortals as invaders. We could go to the Warsworn and get an oath of protection, but that would require payment. We mustn't cover this up. But who do we tell?
I'll go to the House of Ballads.
You're turning out to be very helpful, my friend. You have my gratitude. I'll see to it that you're honored.
Usually we choose
Rumor says
peace.
that the House of Ballads has its headquarters not far from here, in Glendara to the northeast. Try to gain entrance if you can.
It's very easy, you just walk in.
All I know is what I learned in my youth. The heroism of King Wenson and his court of enchantments. My gran spoke of them nightly as she sat by my bedside. For all I know, the House of Ballads is nothing more than myth. But I have a feeling that it exists somewhere out in the deep mists of the Feylands. Once they fought the beasts of chaos, marching to glory through many victories. Sadly, they fell, as all great men do. Now they're nothing more than hired blades. Anyone can earn their allegiance with a few pieces of gold.
Same.
Farewell.
Alright. So next time we see her, she'll be awake. Do I have any bad status conditions? No.
Hi.
Alright. That was a successful little jaunt. You can now see the effectiveness of the steel chakrams. Very good items. We can go buy back the Frostweave set for mana and health regen, which I am probably going to do. Because health regen is very good. But I can't use them until I have Sorcery 6. So, I'm not going to do it just yet. Let's start selling off some things we don't need. .20 health and 20 mana is actually more effective than 13 armor. Typically, health and armor are equally as effective. But you can view your total health. I have 100 HP, 33 armor, 57 health. As you can see, I have a lot of armor sources, but not a lot of health sources. The more armor you have, the more health is effective. The more health you have, the more armor is effective. Armor increases your effective health by a %. Add your armor together. If you have 200 armor, it increases your effective health by 200% against physical damage. Same thing with magic resist. So now we can sell off. Hopefully purchase a backpack upgrade. That is our primary goal. We now have too many points for the trainer, so we won't be able to access the trainer even if we have the gold. But that's okay. So, let's sell off.
Come in. Yes. What do you need? Goodbye.
Actually, first I should repair.
Damn Red Legion. Can I help you?
Let's go ahead and repair all.
So long.
Don't visit the old Arathi ruin.
Yes. What do you need?
Sell our junk. And then sell the things we're not using. I'm not using the Longsword of Dusk because I have steel Fey Blades, or steel chakrams. I'm not using the Apprentice Fey Blades because the chakrams do more. This is my backup bow. I'm going to keep it in my inventory in case my main bow breaks. The Conductive Hammer is my backup melee weapon. I'm going to keep that in the inventory. The Elm Staff deals frost, but not a lot of things are vulnerable to frost, and is not important to keep. However, I do want to keep it anyways, so I can use it with the second level of staffs for its really great damage per second. I'm going to sell off the hammers, the other staffs, that longbow, those daggers. I'm going to sell off this kite shield, this necklace, and I'm going to go back to the buy screen, to the items I've sold her. I can't afford the backpack, that's okay. I'd like to buy back. Oh. Did I sell it to her too long ago? Can I not buy it anymore? Oops. No. There it is, Frostweave. Oh. I guess if I leave the screen I can only buy it back for its true value. Oh well. Looks like we're not going to be using Frostweave until we have a lot more gold. So let's sell off the other pieces. No problem. I made a mistake. But that's okay, because now we can buy a backpack. That's much more valuable.
Come see me again.
Alright, well that does it for today's episode of Kingdoms of Amalur. Thank you very much for joining me down here in the deep. I've been your host Dredge, and I will see you again next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Goodbye and be well.